A leading German journalist is facing allegations of being in the pay of the Kremlin, according to new revelations by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. Hubert Seipel, who wrote a biography of Vladimir Putin, allegedly received more than €500,000 from sources connected to the Russian president. Seipel has long been regarded in Germany as an independent expert on Russia. DW's chief political correspondent, Nina Haza, is following the story for us. Nina, what more can you tell us about Hubert Seipel and the allegations he's facing?
Well, Hubert Seipel is very well known here in Germany, is an influential voice, has won awards for his reporting, has been introduced to talk shows as the German journalist with the best access to Vladimir Putin, has had sit-down interviews with him, etc. But there is an investigative group of journalists called Cyprus Confidential who are currently looking into a big batch of documents that they've got where there's evidence that Russian oligarchs are trying to take influence on influential European voices here. And they have found documents that prove that for a book that Seipel wrote about Putin, he received 2 payments from a company linked to Alexei Mordashov. Now, that's, of course, an oligarch who's very close to Putin. And since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, he's on the EU sanctions list. So Seipel got €200,000 and then another €400,000 as part of a sponsorship deal for the book. And what's very, very tricky here is that the publisher of the book says that they had not been aware of such a deal and they have now stopped selling Seipel's book. Seipel argues there was no influence by third parties regarding the content of his book, but he's also produced films for public broadcaster ARD, and ARD also say that they were not aware of any such sponsorship deals. So Seipel has seriously undermined his own journalistic credibility, and this is probably not the last case that we're going to be seeing because these investigative journalists are continuing digging.
Nina, are there any insights on what might have driven Seipel to comply with this, to do this in the first place? Is it as simple as money talks?
You'd have to ask him. He was incidentally asked 2 years ago by a fellow journalist, have you ever received any money from Moscow? And he brushed those accusations off straight away and said, no, of course not, I'm a journalist. There is this attempt. He's probably tempted by that possibility also to be portrayed as one very influential voice in the German debate. He is being, or he was being introduced and invited to several talk shows. He was very, very influential here. So that is why it's such a big deal to now find out that he has indeed received money from a Russian oligarch. He doesn't deny that.
Nina Haza, many, many thanks.